What I'm showing you here is a primitive trap. I call it the garrote. As you can see, the engine is a lifting pole, just a pole lashed to the tree so it pivots with a counterweight on the back. And I have a bait pen built around it. This utilizes the same trigger as a deadfall trap that I like, that I showed in the deadfall video. It's just kind of like a toggle trigger. The line comes down off the lifting pole. I have a frame, which is a crossbar, two posts, and then two lashed to either side, you know what I mean? You can see it. And I have a drawing that I'm going to put in the end of this video. But the snare goes down in between these, right? And that's for a reason I'm going to show in a minute. But your toggle stick flips over, and then you have a trip bar. Idea is you'd have some bait in the back, and the animal comes through, dislodges that trip bar, and nothing happens because you can see the issue there. And you can see that issue. Yeah. Okay, so I shortened that piece. Let's see if I can make this work. Primitive traps are inherently unreliable. Ha! Damn. Yeah. What a fail. Okay, you can see this is a deer trail. Deer tracks. And they go under all this. You can see this vine here. It's called a duck under. It's a natural duck under. There's a good solid tree to anchor to there, and I would hang my snare off of that vine with a couple strands of my hair or some weak cotton thread. And I'd anchor to that tree. This would be a very good spot to hang a deer. You can see the old buck rub on that tree right there. Maybe you can't. Just thought I'd, make this video have some useful information. You could see my failure of a primitive trap. Doesn't help that this is the only tool I have with me today. So it's kind of hard to source the right components. I was picking up dead stuff from the ground, that's why it broke. What you're looking at here, let's get over here and show it, is a confluence of game trails. One goes that way and one goes that way. You can see the overhang. These are deer trails. Everything runs deer trails though. The way that's overhanged, another natural duck under. That would be a great spot to hang a snare for a deer. You'd have to anchor to that tree, so you need a real long cable, but be a good spot. I could get 2 deer snares in here. Now I'm going to talk about something else. It's a confluence of game trails, right? Everything runs, mostly deer trails, but everything runs deer trails. There's a nice little, could use that stump or those logs there as a backstop, make a little quick set for any kind of scavenger or predators coming through. And that is squirrel sign. You can see they'll chew and gnaw on rotted. Well, it doesn't have to, it might not be a squirrel, it could be a skunk or a raccoon that did that too. Looking for insects inside the wood. And you can see there's a little hole there. It's probably a squirrel or a skunk or a possum trying to get some grubs and whatnot. So if I was going to set, I could put 2 deer snares in on these trails and have the area covered in case a deer comes through. I'd probably put a set for some sort of a scavenger predator, something, bait it with something stinky, a foothold in front of it. And what I'm about to do is I'm about to put a squirrel pole in. So I'm going to show you how I make a squirrel pole. You can see I have this pole. It's about maybe 2 inches, 2.5 inches in diameter at its thickest point, which is a little thicker than I'd like, but it'll work. And it's ran between these couple trees horizontally. I just I don't have a lot of nails or any kind of wire or cord with me, really. I got a little cord, not too much. I didn't really come out here intending to film. I'm going to film some more tomorrow. But horizontally between two trees, just held up with friction and gravity, you know what I mean? It's a little lower than I like. Normally I like them at about face height, about 6 foot high for me, to keep things from snatching my squirrels after they're snared. But I have 3 snares made of 24 gauge fluoro wire. It's pretty light stuff and it's green. See that? There's our snare with about 3 fingers, a little big, and there's 3 of them down the pole. You can see I used a little branch, kind of keep with this one to kind of, you know, hopefully center the squirrel up on that snare. I got another here, and then another there. The trick is to make sure that if the squirrel gets caught in the snare, he's not going to be able to reach the tree. Either of the trees that the pole is suspended on, because if he can, he's going to be able to chew or break that wire. The squirrel runs down the pole, gets caught, and jumps off, and basically hangs himself, is the premise of this. I like these. They're easy to put up in the off season if you're not trapping or hunting an area. And, you know, since I'm not going to be back to check this later or tomorrow, I'm going to close the snares and just leave them hanging down. If I come back here, and I'm going to be back, you know, if I'm doing some trapping or some hunting, or I'm fishing the lake out here, and I want to, you know, maybe snag a squirrel or 2, and, you know, I'm going to be around, you know, a couple days to check them, I'll come by and open them up, you know. And this is the spot with those game trails that come together, so I'd probably put a couple other things out. This is how I like to do it, though. This is kind of pre-staging, if you will. Yeah. And this is my Helicon Tex Claymore bag, which I found most useful. You can see the back. It has my airborne mess kit, sniper veil, there's a notepad and a compass, a couple other little odds and ends, some electrical tape. In the back, I have my game carrier, which I can clip on if I'm, you know, doing a little squirrel or rabbit hunting or whatnot. Carry my dead critters. I'm not really sure. Those pouches don't have anything in them. And I have normally it's my boot knife, but I just have it on the strap because I'm playing with carrying a knife in that fashion. But I like this thing. I don't like the black. I'm eventually going to hit it up with some spray paint and get rid of that noisy Velcro. Just use the snaps. But I like it. I can stick my tomahawk through the back, and I can strap a poncho to the bottom of it. So really, I have a pretty light rig. I can keep, you know, fire starting material or whatever else in there, and some mission essential equipment. I could easily put you know, have one of these be, you know, a few fire making items and a small fishing kit, and the other be, you know, if I'm like doing some bow hunting, a broadhead, string wax, or pellets for a pellet gun. I could still carry firearms. You already know one would be full of shotgun shells. Hear them crows in the background. Yeah. And my buddies. But let me get out of here and do some fishing. And I'll film some more shit tomorrow. Come out with some better tools. Yeah. Ooh, I got a stick in my hair. Ouch. Now let's talk about a good natural pre-made trap set. Location. You can see a hole in the bottom of this tree. This dirt in here is really dry. This kind of set is going to be protected. I don't have a trap with me, but I'm just showing the location. It's going to be protected though in bad weather. To bed a small foothold trap, number 1, 1.5, and then anchor it off to this little tree here. That could, just leaving it unbaited, obviously you can see the nuts. Could take squirrels very easily, as well as anything that'll go in one of these holes after a squirrel, a raccoon, a possum, you know. Or if you suspect that the hole is not active, you can put something stinky in the back and put the trap in front. you can see here, though, there's one of these spots. There's another there. There's another there. And there's another there. If I had a few foothold traps, I could probably have a squirrel here tomorrow. But I didn't come out prepared. I came into town to see my PO, and I have some energy. So, oh look, there's another one over there, that stump. They are a really productive set though, and they're natural and they stay good even in bad weather. Checking out this little pond here, there's still ice on it, but some holes around it. This is a new spot for me. I came here ice fishing once, but I want to see if these holes are active. They're probably muskrat holes. The entrance is probably underneath the water, but they come up above the water. But jam a bunch of grass and bushes and brush in them, and if next time I come that's not there, that's an active hole. Be a good spot for a snare. See, there's obviously sometimes geese here, which is good to know. They just made this spot public. It used to be private. You're probably not allowed to kill geese here, but good to know. Look at this, look at this. Looks like muskrat dens. Yep. That's a muskrat den hole. Oh, one up here too, looks like. Or maybe that's just a sinkhole, or an old one. Huh. More muskrat holes. It's good to know this is here. Looks like there's another one up here, actually. You can see what I'm looking at, though. There's probably one there with all that murkiness. And you can see the holes on the land. There's probably one, yep, right there. We're going to come back here with some snares or some conibears. Once this ice is off, do some fishing. And maybe snag a rat or two. Sounds like a plan to me. Yep. Hella muskrat holes, man. And you can see it's tearing up the bank. So I'm going to consider it a pest removal service when I do come over here that I'm providing the city for free. You can see a couple of my holes from where I was ice fishing. I had a hole there, had a hole there. This is all prime muskrat sign. You can see the channel of that den. They've been digging away at the bank for vegetation. You can see it. I'm going to have to come back here with some traps soon. I haven't done any trapping since I've been out, so we're going to give it a go out here.